gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And your co-host, hailing from the valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi. And joining me once again is my good friend Ian Garavaglia, the full-time part-timer. What's up, dog?
What's up, dog? Well, hey, big night for one of the Indiana teams tonight, as the Indiana Pacers are looking to move on to the championship. Got that on in the background. I'm going to be watching that. I don't know what time it starts. I think it's like 8:15, 8:30.
It's probably starting here in about 15 minutes, I would believe. Yeah.
Probably.
So, like I told my co-host of NXT Night Shift, Pacers in 5. I'm sticking to it, Ian. Pacers in 5. They get it done tonight. How we feeling?
I like it. It's really funny because I am the definition of I am hopping on the bandwagon, but I have.
We both are. We both are.
I live right here. I mean, so it's like I'm welcomed.
Yeah, you're here. You're an indie guy now, and Kine's apparently in an airport watching us. So shout out to Kine, and shout out to everybody else in the chat as we got Bill Moss, Tino, the usuals in the chat. Kine says I look like Johnny Sins just because any bald guy looks like Johnny Sins. Is that what it is?
I don't see
you know who that is, right?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm making sure you know who Johnny Sins is.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And Kine's all aboard. He said, let's go, Pacers. Eric, you're not late. You're just on time. We're just shooting the shit over here. So, guys, appreciate you stopping by. And also appreciate you guys hanging out with us this past weekend. If you were over hanging out with the Main Event Wrestling Network crew. If you missed it, I don't know how you did miss it because it was all over socials. Hashtag Main Event 24. But, Ian, we did it. We successfully completed a 24-hour pro wrestling-related stream with multiple content creators, some from outside of the network, which was a bonus, I would say. It was great to see Dustin Alberti from AEW and Great Brown Hope interviewed a couple guys as well, Kyle Nix being one of those. So, Ian, if the people didn't get the chance to hear about what we did this weekend, why don't you summarize it and share some of your memories and thoughts about it?
Well, as the great Justin Roberts would say about a match we're going to talk about, it was pure fucking chaos. But honestly, organized chaos, because from just like not even just the people that were involved, everybody delivered, which was amazing to see. I was more worried about the technology, but shout out technology. It's pretty good nowadays. Besides losing the last hour of the stream on YouTube, fuck you, YouTube. Yes, we're on that platform right now, but fuck you, YouTube.
Even though we need people to subscribe on YouTube.
It's fine. Subscribe in spite of YouTube. How about that? Let's do that.
Stick it to them.
Yeah. But no, it was really fun. And I will be very honest. That Monday, you said, hey, maybe we should do a live recording. And I just told you, I'm all wrestled out. And I didn't even watch Raw that night. I watched it the next day because I don't want to watch wrestling right now. Because it was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Some people aren't feeling fatigue. Like if you were to look into the Main Event Wrestling Network group chat, a lot of people have ideas flowing for next year already. Good. And that's what's cool to see is like this. The way I'm describing this to people, if you're unfamiliar with the Main Event Wrestling Network, is it's just a conglomerate of multiple content creators coming together, like-minded individuals that just want to spread the joy and the fun of professional wrestling. We just have a unique way of covering and talking about this, sport that we love. And I think that video, that 24-hour stream, it's a two-parter, by the way, if you want to check it out on YouTube, is just a resume, Ian. It just shows you what we have to offer. Not everything is for everyone. Some people might watch the Wrestling Junkies podcast, but they don't care for us over here at OTM because we're bald and we got a full-time part-timer. Well, that's okay.
We's a strong word.
I guess it is. But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, it literally was just a resume. Here's what we got. And if you like it, follow these creators because we're doing great things over there.
Yeah, and if you want to be a part of the 24-hour, you don't necessarily have to join the family. You could sneak your way into the 24-hour live stream because we are hoping to do that annually. That will not be the first, and will definitely not be. Or no, that was the first. Definitely will not be the last. So if you would like to be a part of it, if you have your own podcast, if you have literally any way of showing your love for wrestling, share it with us. We would love to give you a platform. We could talk things out. So yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Robbie Collins, the other half, I should say, of Kind's podcast, the Turnbuckle Talk Zone. He stopped by and he talked NXT Battleground with us. Bill said, part-time balders. I mean, it kind of plays.
Well, why am I thrown into this? I mean, I'm getting there.
Because you're going to be
trust
bald.
me, I'm getting there.
You will be bald one day. Too Sweet Kyle, how'd you get that nickname? I gave it to myself.
So he makes a wrestling business.
Yeah, I'm a mark. If he's talking about the Too Sweet, which I'm assuming he is talking about the Too Sweet, I love the Too Sweet gesture. I do it all the time in text messages. Ian knows. Great. My name's Kyle. There you go.
It's not. Don't lie to them.
Mr. OTM is pretty self-explanatory too, isn't it? Hey, Bill. Ian is not bald. He has a luscious set of hair. Let's show it off. Yeah, he ain't bald yet. I did see a bald spot when you did that.
And I'm growing it out.
You look good. But hey, we don't have anything to grow hair here at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. As you can see, still bald. But we do have great merch that is available for a limited time, I should say, because we are in the process of potentially switching over our merch site. We, of course, have to get approved by Brainbuster Tees. So it's a wait and see kind of thing. But we did tweet it out before this episode, if you were going to come hang out with us for episode 247, that since we are switching merch sites very soon, that we will give away an honorary Mark t-shirt to the MVM of this episode, Ian. A free shirt just for showing up and hanging out with us tonight.
And it turns out that shirt is the #1 seller on the website. I need to order a new one. We were talking about it before.
Get it before you can, yeah.
I got one of the first generation honorary Mark shirts, and it is showing its wear and tear because I wore it so much. So I will be ordering a new one here soon.
Yeah, the Kind's throwing shots at the airport. He said Ian's like 3 years older than me, and his hair is looking like Cena. Hey, he's still doing great things with the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, and that's all that matters, right? But Tino's right. Before we do anything else, we got to get the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast to 500 subscribers. So, guys, be like Tino and subscribe because we are on the road to 500. Like he said, we currently sit at 451, which is crazy, Ian. We've been doing this now for a little over 6 years. We still haven't got to 500 subscribers.
It's a slow build. It's long-term storytelling.
I guess, yeah. And Eric's saying hello. They're just talking to themselves in the chat, so that's nice to see. But the Great Brown Hope's out here. Great Brown Hope doing great things with the 24-hour stream, and he's always on the blog too, so make sure you give him a follow. And Bill says that he wishes he had Raul Mendoza's hair. I think he's one half of LWO? Is that who he's talking about? Guys, I'm sorry. LWO is not on our radar. I know that's the Great Brown Hope's boy, but that's probably who that is.
I know the Mendoza line. That's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, we know that. That's a baseball term. Eric, I was not watching anything with the Bullet Club, so I don't have a favorite Bullet Club era. There's your answer.
Cruz del Toro is.
Oh, it is Cruz del Toro. Oh, I forgot. Bill Moss is one of those guys that doesn't want to call people by their new names. Yeah. Oh, he's Walter still to Gunther. I'm just giving you shit, Bill. We love you. And I agree with Kind. I do wish I had Lexus King's hair and his facial hair.
Yeah. You could do that, though. You have the ability to do that. I do not.
With the sprayed beard?
Yeah, you could do that.
All right,
put some filler in there.
If we get to 500 subscribers tonight, I will spray my beard like Lexus King. We have to get to 500 tonight, though, guys.
Let's do 600 by SummerSlam.
If we hit 600 by SummerSlam, I will do the Lexus King face paint
on, people.
for an NXT Night Shift episode. I'm not going to go crazy here for an NXT Night Shift episode.
All right.
That's fair because
fair.
he's in NXT. You know, it only makes sense to do it on the night shift. Which, by the way, if you're not following NXT Night Shift on X, what are you doing, man? Like, Ian, I know you don't watch NXT, but you pay attention to the night shift.
I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that one, though, Bill. I'm not calling him JC Mateo.
I didn't know that his name was changed. I'm not going to lie. I still don't.
Yeah, I did see this, Tino. I don't know if Ian did. They're going to keep SmackDown at 3 hours.
I hate it. I mean, I have thought about this. The 3-hour line, especially since I've moved a time zone over and it's later in the evening, I don't make it 3 hours. It's not happening. I die in the last hour.
Yeah, especially on SmackDown, because a lot of SmackDown just feels like recaps and time filling.
It's old
I
Raw
don't
feeling.
like that. Yeah. My dream is to have hair like Dylan Cease. We know who that is. He played for the Chicago Cubs and the White Sox.
Well, he cut off all his hair, pretty sure.
Oh,
so.
did he?
He's got a big beard. Well, no, he cut that beard off, too. Well, let's work on the facial hair first there, kid.
Yeah, let's get that going. Which they do have new graphics for their podcast, so shout out to them. But guys, we have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. We're going to go all the way back to Saturday, and of course, happening on Saturday was Saturday night's main event. And one of the big things that happened, they kicked off with that highly anticipated tag match between CM Punk, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker. And Ian, we speculated during that 24-hour stream of who potentially could be that third member, and we brought up the name Bronson Reed. We weren't too confident with it just because of the history between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, but come to find out, that is who your third man is going to be, as Bronson Reed interfered in that matchup. Now we have a complete group, it seems, with Bronson, Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman. So the match itself was okay. You know, it was fun. It seemed like the crowd was very into it. Unfortunately, the commercial breaks kind of killed that momentum, but tell me your thoughts, because I see a lot of complaints with the Bronson Reed of it all because of him attacking Seth Rollins months prior, which I can understand that criticism, but how did you feel about the reveal of Bronson Reed here?
I was confused, but I think that was their point, because, I mean, even commentary was confused. Like, they didn't make it so to the point of, like, oh, man, oh, that makes total sense. Like, that's not the feeling you got. It was more of, what the fuck just happened? Hey, if you tune into Monday Night Raw for, I think it was the opening segment with Seth Rollins in the ring with the entire faction, Paul Heyman described it on Bronson Reed beat the shit out of him and earned it. And he needs that guy. He needs a Bronson Reed on his team. Guys, if you listen, it all makes sense, especially when you have Paul Heyman in charge of the creative. It's going to make sense. Don't worry. So, yeah, I like it, because this entire faction is just going to be... It's building the next generation. I mean, we talked about the re-evolution, basically, which that would have been a really cool faction name, but too on the nose. But I love it. I wish it was Omos, because I think they could have used that, be real, diversity within the faction, taller as well. I know it's another big guy, but you put another big guy with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed and Breaker, that just kind of screams on the table right now. Like, at some point, they're going to turn against each other. That's how I read it. Of course.
Yeah, but people saying, like, they're the similar styles, they are, but they're different at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, Bronson Reed truly works the big man style. Yeah. Braun Breaker's a hybrid. Braun Breaker can essentially do anything. He's more explosive. He's going to hit the powerful moves, but he's not a big guy. Bronson Reed's a big guy, so I see the difference. But that was the only disconnect for me, but at least they showed it on television. Like, when Bronson attacked and then he stepped up onto the ring and he stared him down a little bit. There was a question if Bronson was going to align himself with Seth in there. So I think there was that tension from, you know, that falling out that they had earlier a couple months ago when Bronson took out Seth Rollins. But, you know, I think it's going to be fun. Like you said, this is the future right now. They're investing a lot into Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker because, of course, this is centered around Seth Rollins. Like, Seth Rollins is going to be the one that eventually gets the title back. But at the end of the day, in the long run, Ian, this is more for the other two, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Exactly. And that's why I love this faction. It's building the next generation. Like, I mean, the man who shall not be named, his factions used to be a lot of guys that have been established or well-known names. If they want to make a supergroup, they just band together. Like, I think the closest they got was, like, Hurt Business, and to the point of, like, it's kind of building the next generation, but even then, they're all veterans, so it doesn't really make any sense. Like, this faction is, two of the three already are going to be the future. They're going to be in WWE for 10 plus, almost 20 years probably, especially Braun. Breaker. I just hate the Braun Bronson thing, but
Yeah, it's a lot of similarities going on there.
also I do want to bring this up. I don't know if we missed it, but this was earlier in the show.
I mean, I'm not going to go back to and do it. It just doesn't have the same pizzazz. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to be real here with Dirk, and I know Dirk's watching, he was a little rude during the 24-hour stream, and I did not appreciate it. So Dirk's in timeout with me. He's in hot water.
Okay.
He was saying that we sucked. Like, we were sitting there just chit-chatting, and we were on a 24-hour stream. What else do you expect, Dirk?
That is true, but we can give a shout out to Donna. Hi, Donna.
Yes, my mother. The reason I am here. My brother's listening, too. Yeah, former MVM Ryan Gagliardi watching the program right now. The GOAT of all GOATs, by the way.
Amen.
There is no one better than Ryan Gagliardi. And if you try to wrestle him, he will not sell for you, Ian. He doesn't
In
sell.
it for himself. He's in it for himself.
He just wants to go over all the time. And it's like, we broke so many couches back in the day. and for him to never just put me over once, it's frustrating, man. It really is. But let's pull up some other comments here. As Bill said, Reed pointing in the air with the bloodline was a fire scene. Wait, back in the day. It was back a couple months ago. Okay, yeah, no, it was. I did enjoy that for a little bit. And I thought that actually was where they were going to go with him, Bronson Reed. I thought he was going to, but yeah. The injury did it, didn't it? That was in that match, too, wasn't it?
It was. 3 people got injured during that match.
The curse match.
Yeah, I don't remember who else.
It was War Games, yeah. The infamous Tongaloa. How could we forget?
And Fatu broke his foot.
Yep, there you go.
And he still wrestled the next week in a boot.
Right. I know this reference, Great Brown Hope. Settle the score. No, I will not take a loss. That's Solo Sikoa's theme, which is a part of the Bagels playlist and made the rotation, Ian, for Wiffle Ball.
Fuck the Bagels.
Wow, we're undefeated. Unreal. Kind says Judgment Day made Priest and Dom, maybe Rhea too, in the sense that she became a star during Judgment Day. I think that's a fair take, no?
I think Rhea Ripley made herself a star. But I do agree Judgment Day did make Priest. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Dirk, you were saying some things in the stream on Saturday. Don't play dumb with me, Dirk. I saw the comments. Hey, we got heat, brother. Great Brown Hope says Ryan won't even put over Cena. Who's Ryan? Oh, my brother. Duh. To be fair, he shouldn't put over Cena. Ryan should go over on John Cena.
I would agree.
And he loves the Tonga twins. Is he talking about the men or the women? Because aren't there women Tongans as well?
I have no
in the
idea.
ROH or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Clue.
Chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but let's move on. Let's talk about John Cena, since people have mentioned the GOAT. He defeated R-Truth in a very short match, but Ian, I think this match was perfect for what it was. Realistically, R-Truth should not be even coming close to defeating John Cena. The story was there. They told the story. R-Truth's made the jokes multiple times that's his childhood hero. He came out dressed as his childhood hero, awesome. John Cena, which was perfect. It was 4 minutes. It was fine. I'm not mad about it. But how did you feel about this? Because it seems like a lot of people didn't like the way that this match was, produced.
Well, people need to think, like, they are both 50-year-olds. Well, Cena's close, but R-Truth is 50.
He basically is 50 with that hair.
I mean, this was perfect business in the fact of R-Truth got his shit in, which was John Cena's shit, but it was stuff that John Cena could not do. Like, people have to understand that. Got the full entrance in the form of R-Truth, and R-Truth got his big moment. My only thing that I was kind of upset about, I really hope that wasn't a glimpse at Cena actually like, oh man, I want to turn babyface now. I do not do that, please. I like how they did it during the match, and it felt like in the end, after a little bit of thinking, it's like, okay, maybe it was just set up for Cena to win that match, like just turning his back.
Make it easy, yeah.
Yeah, let his guard down. I hope that's the case. If that's a actual glimpse into Cena turning back right away, it's like, I don't like that. R-Truth should not be that. I get it. It's a thing on Twitter right now. It's like everyone's like saying R-Truth is showing glimpses and reminding us Cena. It's like, it's way too early for that.
It is too early. I mean, it's crazy to say it's too early when we only got 6 more months of John Cena, but it is early in that sense because you could wait until the last 3 months to tease the babyface. You don't have to do it right away. Like, he needs to have, like what the Great Brown Hope is saying, a dominating win. And he got that dominating win against R-Truth. And like Bill said, that's the match he expected as well. And for someone, and this is huge, by the way, because Ryan Vogus was in attendance for Saturday night's main event. And I saw a lot of people criticizing the show, but the crowd absolutely loved it. And they were hot for the entire card, by the way. It's not going to come off as good on TV, but for someone that was there in person, Vogus even said it, that was one of the better crowds that he was a part of. So obviously what they were doing works, Like, they're not stupid for doing this.
No, not at all. And yeah, the crowd came across as loving the entire show, really, besides one match that we will not talk about. But
Selena and Chelsea, yes.
Brutal. It was brutal, which
Wasn't
sucks.
good.
I love them both.
We do. Yeah, we're a fan of both. But yeah, this has been a fast 5 months, hasn't it? Can't believe his run is halfway over. This is the year in general. Like, it's gonna be June.
Yep.
What the fuck happened?
What
the fuck happened, guys? Please subscribe. Before you know it, it's going to be 2026. But after Cody Rhodes' return, a lot of people speculated that he did end up showing up after the match to stop John Cena from attacking R-Truth. This was eventually just setting up a match for Money in the Bank. A lot of people wanted to see John maybe face off against CM Punk or somebody else for the title, but no. We're getting a tag team match with John Cena teaming up with Logan Paul to take on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. You excited for that one? Because for me, I don't know how I feel about it personally.
It needs to start setting the seeds for Cody turning something in his character. Doesn't need to be heel, just needs to be something. I wasn't thrilled about Cody returning already. I do agree with that. With Eric Douglas saying that. Zelina delivered one of the worst 619s I have. Well, you could say she delivered it, but it was bad.
Leave it to the Mysterios.
Yeah. No, the match, I just hope it plants some seeds, which I think it's going to. Usually these mixed tag team kind of things where it's unreasonable tag teams going off against each other, usually that's just planting seeds for something bigger. I like that tweak. I know people hate seeing Logan Paul on their TV, which you're supposed to be doing. So good, but like Logan.
Oh, like
Paul,
Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a tease for later.
Yeah, the Logan Paul in it. I love that. I like what they did with John Cena running in on the match, trying to get Logan Paul to win that title. I think that's an extra tweak in John Cena's character instead of just saying, "I hate you all now." Like, he's going out of his way to try to ruin WWE. Like, it's not just a saying now, if that makes any sense. And they did hint at it. Yeah. So I love the entire match. Again, I really hope this sets up something long term.
I think it's setting up for Cody to eventually take the title off of John. Like, originally when this, heel turn happened, I thought CM Punk would be a perfect candidate to take that title off of John Cena, but now I'm starting to think that, A, they don't see it. WWE's giving Punk side quests now. And B, it probably was just made for Cody the entire time. Like, they just want to keep putting Cody over, and this is another way to do so.
If they do that, they need to understand people are not going to love Cody winning that title. He will be getting booed.
Eventually. I don't think it would be initially. I think it would be an eventual gradual turn on Cody.
I think it would be pretty damn quick because I think a lot of people are expecting John Cena to keep that title for a long time. I mean, until he's gone.
Well, trust me, I don't think Cody's taking that title anytime soon. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen at the end of the year.
Okay, that's fair. That's
why I don't think there's going to be boos. But they're going to stretch it, dude. Look they're just throwing together random tag matches on PLEs. They have so many PLEs. Like, that's the problem right now with WWE, and I can't believe I'm saying that's a problem. There's too much wrestling.
Bi-weekly, we have
Slow
something
down
to watch. I know Saturday Night Main Event is not a PLE, but yes, it is. I watch it the same exact way I watch every other PLE, just with commercials.
We don't need a PLE every weekend. That's why we have alternatives. And I know it seems like WWE is trying to kill the alternative option because counter scheduling going on. It's crazy. Twitter is a terrible place to be.
Stay off wrestling Twitter, people.
don't go on there if you are feeling down in the dumps because it'll make you feel worse. That's for sure. I don't hate this idea from Bill. He said make them Raw and SmackDown exclusive PLEs like they used to. Because something.
Then it just feels like a SmackDown or Raw, and then you're dragging away main events that could be on the actual Raw and SmackDowns. I think Raw and SmackDown I know we gave a lot of shit for SmackDown being 3 hours, but I think they're in good places right now.
They are.
Every Raw and SmackDown you want to tune into, which is what
we enjoyed SmackDown last week. We watched it live.
Yeah, it's just like it's a long show. Please give it 3 hours. It's just I would like that, but I don't know. That's still the same point. Just take away a PLE a month. It's okay. We don't have to have 2 a month.
Yeah, let's just take it easy. Take it easy, please.
Take it easy.
As Damian Priest would say. I'm trying to find the comment from earlier because that's basically all from Saturday night's main event I wanted to talk about. But Bill said that Saturday night's main event was mid overall. None of the matches really piqued his interest. Only 2 highlights were Bronson and R-Truth. But to be fair, in a 2-hour show filled with commercials, getting 2 highlights ain't bad.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't supposed to be an outstanding show. No. It's a glorified house show, right?
Yeah, no, it is a glorified house show. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's not like in the future I could be like, I'm not going to change my plans to watch a Saturday night main event live.
No,
I don't need to do that. That was the staple thing I had coming from it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And hashtag main event 24. Yeah, let's get that trending. You know, it still could be trending because we're going to be doing it again next year. I think it's going to become a Memorial Day tradition. So once again, if you haven't seen that 24-hour stream, head on over to the Main Event Wrestling Network socials, and you can check that out today. Eric has a question for us. What do you think Bianca does at Evolution? Yeah, by the way, Evolution 2 was announced. That's going to be happening here, I believe, in a month. If I'm not mistaken, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's putting me on the spot. I really can't think.
I have no idea. They haven't planted any seeds.
Run it back with Naomi, maybe?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe this would be a good spot
do the triple threat. Yes, thank you.
Because you got a long way until SummerSlam. So the triple threat, there's no title involved.
Do it. Yeah. Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Who's the best woman?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this Evolution. I think it's the second one now. I know the first one was a long-ass time ago.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by it. I don't know.
I am too. And Tina watched the first Evolution on the 24-hour stream, so it's very fitting. We watched Evolution 1, and then it gets announced during that stream. Yeah, they definitely are listening to us. Another thing, Jesse the Body Ventura should never be on commentary ever again. Since the Great Brown Hope reminded me here when he said he called that Priest door walkout on the BWO blog. Jesse Ventura just debunking wrestling on live television is not the move.
I think we are past the nostalgia. I know Vogus loves him, but I'm over it. You could keep him on the pre-show little thing up on the stage. Just get him off the commentary.
Like John Cena, Jesse the Body Ventura's goal was to ruin wrestling that night, and he almost did it. But overall, Saturday night's main event. Solid show. Nothing crazy.
All right, yeah.
Let's talk about the show that I think we both can agree was probably the strongest show of the weekend. It's also not fair, really, to compare apples to oranges because at the end of the day, AEW Double or Nothing is one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year. NXT was running a B-level PLE, and Saturday night's main event was like a house show. But let's go to that opening match because it was an outstanding match between 2 of the best women right now in professional wrestling, as Mercedes Moné is officially the #1 contender after she defeated Jamie Hayter and will be facing off against Toni Storm at All In, setting up, arguably, Ian, one of the biggest women's matches of the decade. That's not even crazy for me to say that, to where these two have elevated their careers. So, first off, how'd you feel about this match?
At first, I will be honest, because I did talk about it on our 24-hour live stream. I was like, I don't necessarily need to see Mercedes in the main event versus Toni Storm, but it makes sense. Like, it's good. It's the best thing for business.
Biggest stars.
It completely makes sense. Yeah, like just poster board. It's like, holy shit, this is a big match. I get it. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to love it. I do love it right now already. Just because we're big Jamie Hayter fans too. We want to see it. But I am happy now because it seems like it wasn't just a Jamie Hayter makes a run in the tournament. She does have a plan, or they do have a plan for her last night.
Yeah, who is this girl that attacked her? I don't know anything about her. Do you?
She's newer, I think.
Maybe the chat can tell us a little bit about her.
All I know is she's good. That is the consensus around, is she is very fucking good. So I'm excited. I don't know if she's in AEW full time. She's just Stardom.
She's all elite. She got the graphic. Yeah.
Hell yeah. She's another one of those Stardom where Mariah May came from.
Oh, okay.
And her look, just wait till you see her look because it's really fucking badass. Also, I love the theme music. So yeah, I'm happy about it. If you're talking about a match that could easily main event All In, Mercedes versus Toni Storm is up there, and it's going to sell tickets.
And that might be a hot take. I know Hangman and Moxley's probably going to main event, and it should. But I would prefer Toni Storm versus Mercedes because I'm still a Mercedes fan. A lot of people love hating on Mercedes, Sasha Banks, but in ring to me, she's still top 5 of all time. I don't really think that's debatable.
Hard to disagree. It's hard to disagree.
Yeah. All I know is that she could do the Bray Wyatt spider thing. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
She is a spider, so that's what they call her.
Look at that. You're impressing our audience, too.
The only reason I looked... Don't not be impressed. The only reason is because I looked it up.
Oh, there you go. She got kicked out of Stardom for attacking Okada.
Oh, yeah, but no, they mentioned that on commentary.
Obviously an angle, right?
Yeah, it was...
Gotcha.
No, it was legit. Shot
dude, the Mercedes and Jamie match, it might have went a little too long. Like, it seemed like they tried to stretch it, which is fair. I mean, 2 of your best women in your women's division, but it made my match of the year list. It did. It's like, once again, nothing super outstanding, just a very balanced match. Like, even though Jamie lost, she got her shit in, she looked strong, and she's got something to fall back onto. I know a lot of people are worried about Jamie Hayter. Now she's not in the world title scene ever since she won it. What's going to happen?
She's young. It's okay.
This company's young too, Ian. Yeah. I think that's what people forget is that this company's been around for 6 years. You got to switch up on where people are on the card. Jamie Hayter's not always going to be a main eventer.
Correct.
It's just how it is.
This women's roster is stacked.
They're evolving. They are.
Yeah. And also, I do want to bring up, since it was the opening match, like, you mentioned the main event thing. Yes, in kayfabe. But since it was
when I acknowledge the comment, you don't have to acknowledge the comment. I'm just doing it, by the way.
Fair enough. But the all-in thing, like main event versus opener, like at this point, opener, especially for an AEW crowd who's hot coming into it, like all AEW fans that are going to a show, they're going to be loud because it's kind of like that independent wrestling feel. They still want to bring that into AEW. Opening matches feel like main events, which I think, if you're going to book your biggest women's match ever, and I mean, the storyline wise for Hangman versus Jon Moxley, it's literally it's the biggest story of AEW.
It's a bigger story, yeah.
In technicality, so that's going to be your main event.
He's basically the savior of AEW. That's what Hangman's trying to be.
And do we want? Well, we'll save the conversation for the match.
Save that.
But I'm so happy it was the opener because this crowd was fucking hot for this match, which helped.
Where were they at again? Do you remember?
Somewhere in New Mexico.
Interesting. I wouldn't think there would be a good wrestling crowd out there if that is.
Glendale, Arizona.
Never mind. Oh, Glendale. Yeah, they go there frequently. Yeah. Shout out to our boy Mouthing Out with Mike. He was at that pay-per-view as well, and he said he loved it. He loved it. He had a great time. So we'll have to get him on the show one of these days for sure. Eric, I don't know when Forbidden Door is, but maybe. He said, I think Jamie gets her opportunity at Forbidden Door. See, you guys are going to have to start telling us when these things are.
It's usually, it's June between August. Yeah, you got it.
August 24th, I think, is the correct date, if I'm not mistaken, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Because it's usually like a week or two before All Out, because that's really jam-packed.
That's right. Yeah, and we were right. He said Forbidden Door is at the end of August. And Bill says, I have a feeling Hangman will lose because I think Darby is going to be the guy. All right, we're going to pencil that one.
We'll save it.
Yeah, we're going to pencil that one. Guys, don't jump the gun. Don't you do it, because we still got to talk about Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. The match itself on the surface was very straightforward. I know you wanted to get cute when we did our predictions, so you said Speedball. That's fair. But the match itself, that's all I want to talk about, is that Speedball Mike Bailey has been one of the best additions to AEW recently. Like, we all knew of him that pay attention to independent wrestling, but I think he's exceeded expectations. I don't know about you.
So the thing about Speedball is, like, he's getting thrown into these big opportunities. Like, he talks about it on his vlogs. By the way, his vlogs are really fun to watch. But he talks about it on his vlogs, like, I keep getting these opportunities and I don't know how to react. And I'll tell you what, his way of reacting is putting on really good fucking matches and living up to the hype. All you got to do in AEW, that's it.
That is
all you have to do. And his character is very likable because it's very generic, but at the same time, it's like, I want to say it's like a maker wrestler in like a WWE 2K game, but like it kind of is, and it's really fun to to cheer him on because he could be in any kind of match and succeed in it.
And AEW needs more underdogs, in my opinion, because you have underdogs that are climbing mountains right now instead of actually wrestling. I got to get my weekly Darby Allin jab in. I'm glad he didn't die, because I did not want him to die, because I do want to see him be a successful wrestler in AEW, and I wanted to see him become the AEW World Champion, but I no longer want that because he's been off TV for too long. But this comment, you know what? To be fair, we all like who we like, we dislike who we dislike. Sometimes we just don't have reasonings for it. He doesn't give a flying fuck about Speedball. That's okay. Not everyone's cup of tea.
You know what? The only issue I have with it is why isn't a grounded fuck? A flying fuck's a little bit too far. A grounded fuck, all right, that's fine. I'll accept that.
Just a flying fuck. And it looks like Jay Gold has just texted me the SummerSlam weekend itinerary for GCW. So it looks like I got 2 shows to go to Friday night in New Jersey.
You got a weekend, and I'm jealous.
An 8 p.m. show and then a midnight show. Oh, boy.
You know what this is doing? This is just reminding me of, like, our Chicago All-Out weekends where we had, like, 4 shows.
Dude.
Now I'm more sad.
So, a little peek behind the curtain. For those that have been around for a long time, you know that we always attend All Out because it's usually in Hoffman Estates, the Chicagoland area. It's not there anymore. We did it for, what, you said 4 years, right?
4 years. 4 years.
4 years. We got a hotel. We'd do the GCW. We'd go to All Out, obviously. And we'd go to Effie's Big Gay Brunch and just have a blast. Oh. And now it is all ruined because Tony Khan is selfish and doesn't love Chicago, Illinois, even though he's running an entire week in Chicago in July.
Well, I was about to say, and it's literally his hometown. His hometown was Hoffman Estates.
I just wanted to get mad at Tony Khan, and I can't get mad at the pay-per-view because the pay-per-view was good. Okay? I have nothing to complain about AEW. I got to get something out. You know what, Bill? For some reason, and I'm usually like you. I usually am in bed at 11, but Ian can attest to this. When you go to a wrestling energy levels are just...
through the roof. Yeah.
No, Bill. The reason we get pay-per-views is because we're the best crowd in America.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Hard to argue.
Hard to argue. I mean, there definitely are other... What was the one that just did Raw? Who just had Raw and was really good? Somebody in the chat's got to know. Someone come in. I know you got me. If I could get in touch with TK Supplier, I would be bloody rich. That you would. But anything else from this match? I think we're getting him versus Omega, right?
Yeah, I think that's where it's heading. It's nice to see Okada again in the ring. We need to see him more. I don't know if there's like underlying issues of. He is older. Like he is much older than we expect and anticipate. He's been in the ring in the business for a long time. So
yeah.
The bounce back for Speedball. It's there, but I think it's going to be more tag team with Kevin Knight because he said in the vlogs that Kevin Knight is coming back like very soon because he lives in Japan. So he's coming.
I didn't know that.
Doing a run. Yeah. So
obviously, Kevin Knight's from America, right?
I'm not sure.
Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm wrong. I know he wrestled for Black Label Pro. He's the one that tripped over Vogus's chair.
Oh yeah,
at that show. So shout out to Kevin Knight. Yeah. And to be fair, I actually agree with you, Bill, other than the SmackDown that they just had where they drowned out Charlotte and Tiffany and Booze. But I think the problem with Chicago is that they've run too many shows. So you kind of might be right when you said they got enough pay-per-views. I think that might be why the crowds haven't been as lively recently.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be.
Also born in Atlanta, Georgia, and he was trained by Buddy Wayne, which is Nick Wayne's father.
Nick Wayne, yeah.
Pretty sick. And Katsuyori Shibata. So that's a pretty fucking good training crew.
I mean, once again, Shibata's not my cup of tea, but I know his pedigree and what he's capable of doing. So very credible trainer right there. But I did see this report, Ian, I don't know about you, that Eric just put in the comments. He said, Tony has shown interest in women's tag titles. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, it seems like that is the way they are going right now because they're forming women's tag teams, and we talked about it because I know we're not going to talk about the match, but yeah, I do. Yeah, fuck, I keep doing that because I keep.
No, it's fine. That that actually goes with the conversation. Get rid of some belts first before you do this, please.
Agree. And I think the trios belts, as much as I love the ops, they gotta go.
Get them out of here.
I think I understand what they're trying to do with it. Because it's building talent again.
It is.
Letting Samoa Joe be on TV and be a badass. So.
And it's also setting up Ricochet's new faction.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. But yes, I do agree because I think you had mentioned it or tweeted about it. Harley Cameron and Anna Jay are extremely. That match last night was fucking awesome.
They have a move where they just shove a woman's face into Anna's ass.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
I wasn't taking that in a negative way. No. Yeah, that was entertaining, fun.
So fun. I love it. And then Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, I'm loving them too. They have an awesome look, and
they do have a good look.
We've always said with Penelope Ford, like, she's really good in the ring when she needs to be. It's just like the character was never there. Now it makes sense for her to be kind of like sucking up to Megan Bain and being
and the mouthpiece.
Assistant. Yeah, it's a good feeling to have. So like, fuck it.
Well, another nerdy thing that we talked about behind the curtain is we like tag team continuity and wearing similar gear. And like you said it earlier, they just look like a team. So it does seem like they are definitely setting up for that. So I'm going to be optimistic about it, but there's a lot of titles in AEW that don't mean shit. Let's be real. It's true. So hopefully they will mean something because obviously the women's tag titles don't mean a thing in WWE.
There's a lot of
They're
belts
getting
in WWE
better.
as well.
I mean, they're getting better, I should say, but still not there. Bill said, yeet the trio's 6-man belts. I don't even know if they worked in Ring of Honor years ago. Yeah, I don't know either because it was probably behind a paywall. Eric said that's why they're doing Okada Omega. They're going to merge the Yeah, for sure, Eric. That's definitely the plan. I think we even talked about that months ago, being the rumor, and here we are. It's probably going to happen. 2 more things I wanted to touch on, and then we can bring up something else if you have anything else on your mind. But holy hell, Anarchy in the Arena was iconic this year. And once again, guys, if you hated this match, just tell me you hate fun. Tell me you don't like fun or entertaining things in professional wrestling, because you can't look at this as a wrestling match, Ian. It's literally called Anarchy in the Arena. And that's exactly what we got here. Just tell me your thoughts, because I thoroughly enjoyed this.
If you want just like batshit craziness, I mean, they played 3 different songs over the loudspeakers.
Like the bodies hit the floor.
That was so fucking badass.
So cool.
Kenny Omega said, "Play that shit." Like, yeah.
You'll never see that in WWE, and that's why the alternative is great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very, very fun. And again, it feels like that old school AEW thing again. I know it's really hard to keep track of when they have 4 different screens up during the match. I do agree it kind of sucks, but also at the same time, it's more of a let's lift the crowd up kind of match because they're everywhere. They're all around the arena. The name lives up to it. So you have to kind of do nonstop action 24/7. Just pick a screen, go back and forth.
Yeah, that's what everything. I did.
Yeah, there's not going to be one wrestler that's like, okay, I want to watch him the entire time. That's not going to happen. Also, shout out Swerve Strickland because the Predator gear and entrance was so fucking badass. I immediately knew it as soon as I saw the red lasers. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fucking Predator because he's hunting the Bucks. He's the ultimate hunter.
Can I say something else about gear? And this is a rare compliment from me. Love what the Young Bucks did in that match.
It was so fun. I loved it.
They were great. I mean,
the intro was so good. Justin Roberts is a dog.
Justin Roberts is, I mean, that's like my childhood. That's who I grew up listening to. And you too, in the WWE.
He's my goat.
Yeah, it's not one of those matches we could sit here and just break down what happened. It's one of those where you're going to have to buy the pay-per-view, find an illegal stream, and watch it for yourself. But if anybody's trying to poo-poo your parade here and tell you that this match sucked, just give him one of these.
Tell him to fuck off, yeah.
Give him one of these right here because I enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. Enjoy professional wrestling, am I right?
Yeah, there are matches that you need to go into and not overthink it. Be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense.
That should be their gimmick going forward. Just the founding fathers dressed up as old people.
That's probably what they're going to do. I'm not going to lie.
Also, a great point from Eric. I do want to bring this up. I love that they let women participate this year. Willow Nightingale was a star for me in this match.
Yeah, and Marina Shafir. Like, do you remember when Marina Shafir came out to literally a whisper? And that was it.
You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, awful. She was not good in the ring because she was new. Like, she was coming in. She's, I think, married to Roderick Strong.
Do we know if she's even good, though, anymore? Because this is Anarchy. This isn't wrestling.
Well, last night she had a match. She had the mixed tag match, and she held up. She was pretty good.
Did I miss that match? Was that in the first half hour?
It was the 3-man mixed match. It was Willow and Marina on opposite sides with.
I missed it.
And
I was
what's
late.
The band guy.
Oh yeah. Gabe Kidd who spat in Willow's face. How insensitive can you be to do that? I know they got cleared, But who's clearing that is my thing. Spitting on a woman in general shouldn't be on TV, let alone a black woman from a white man. That should not be on television. That's a fuck up, Ian.
It is. It's a pretty bad fuck up. I would like to imagine Willow okayed it, obviously.
That's what I'm saying, but it still doesn't make it okay.
No, it does not. Putting that on your television screen.
We're not in any place to talk about that either because we're white men.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Gabe Kidd has... He tends to like go too much into that side just to get a reaction, which is not great. He's very young, very
sure he's
young.
just not a piece of shit?
Probably is a piece of shit. You have to be a little bit. I mean,
I guess. I mean, like MJF, yeah. Like I've heard good things about MJF, but I've also heard that he still is a piece of shit. I'm like, well, I would hope so, because he's a piece of shit 90% of the time. He's got a camera in front of his face, I'm sure. One more comment before we move on to the main event from Bill. He said, I'm amazed that Roderick Strong and Marina Shafir don't work together on TV, seeing as they're married.
It wouldn't make sense. Also, I think both of them are in really good spots. I mean, Roderick Strong by himself, not a big seller. Let's be honest.
I agree.
The rest of the Paragon, that's the name of them.
Such an ass name. Oh,
Hate
that's
him.
another thing that
Hate
I don't
him.
like. Yeah.
I like the group, hate the name.
Where were they before? Undisputed Kingdom?
Kingdom.
That was
and
fine.
That was catching on.
Kingdom. Like
Yeah.
the theme.
Yeah.
That was catchy. And I did say that essentially, Great Brown Hope. Stop the whites. Indeed. Coming from a white himself. Paragon is definitely a Pokemon. Yeah, that's what we said.
Porygon.
Right?
You're thinking of Porygon.
Oh,
Wrong.
You did look it up. Undisputed Kingdom.
I'm a Pokemon fan.
Hit the thing. Good job. Even though I think it's 3. I think it's 3, and then... This is great podcasting, guys. We're trying to do the Undisputed Era thing on camera, and it's not going well.
I do it?
So subscribe if you want to see that, I guess. Also, why did they break away from Taven and Bennett? Good question.
I think they're in ROH. I think they're still employed.
Maybe. That's bad. We don't know if they're employed or not.
ROH,
The
man.
brown community has a spot for you, Mr. OTM. That's right. And you should see me during the summer. I get very brown over here. We haven't had nice weather, though. Like, look how white I look. I'm pale.
I'm also pale. And when it is
You're
nice
always pale.
outside, well, yeah. Irish.
You think we can get some sun on Sunday? Me and you were playing whip football together for the first time this year.
I kind of hope it's shitty out and it's a little colder because I'm thinking about bringing... Where's he at? That big guy.
Gotcha. Sunny and 70. Sunny and 70. He can hang. He can hang in that.
That's hot.
70's hot for old Wyatt?
You seen him?
Yeah, he's a big boy. Big boy.
He's got about 30 pounds of hair on him,
As
too.
Brock Lesnar would say in the Royal Rumble. Big boy.
Big boy.
Bill said they are. They've been on ROH, but didn't explain the silent breakup. No, it doesn't. It does not.
Sometimes you don't have to bring up the silent breakup. Just don't do it.
With guys like them, you don't have.
Sorry.
No offense. Sorry, that sounded rude. Never mind. Don't clip that. Mr. OTM always welcome to the carne asada, and that's funny because when I eat Mexican food, I only eat carne asada with cilantro and onion.
Oh,
That's
cilantro.
it. Or steak ranchero. Steak ranchero is where it's at.
Okay.
A little spice.
This might be a bad question, but Great Brown Hope, I need to ask you. So us white folks, we talk about cilantro.
Why are we
and
getting in a race?
Well, it's a food thing. It's not a
Okay,
race
it's
thing.
food, not race,
It's a food
guys.
thing.
I'll make the
Food.
graphic.
Because, yeah, I'll wait for you to
I'm
make
serious.
that graphic so
Yeah,
it takes
hold on.
a clip gets brought up.
Food, not race. Go on.
Okay.
No, don't bring up
White
frat
guys
house
and
right now, Eric. No.
Oh, God, no. No. We're talking about food, not
Food,
race.
carne asadas, go.
So, cilantro. It tastes like soap to me. Gags loves cilantro.
Love it.
Is that a thing only us white folks? Is that I don't know if that's like
I think it's 10%
thing.
of I think it's just 10% of the general population. It tastes like soap
Okay.
too. I could be
It's
wrong.
like, it's soap. That's what it tastes like to me.
By the way, Food Not Race T-shirt coming to the shop very
No,
soon.
no.
He doesn't like cilantro. What? Oh, whatever.
He's a part of it.
Frat House made me miss. Frat House just, I guess we're going to get into this because it happened on Dynamite. I'm going to say it. That's the worst gimmick I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
That's bad.
It's pretty bad, but to be fair, it works.
I know it's supposed to be bad.
I think that's kind of what they go for because like it's cheap booze, and they got booed very loudly. But
Yeah.
it's really fucking
It's
bad.
cheap heat. That's what it is. And so we got 50-50 in the chat. So somebody's got to decide it
Yeah.
because Eric Douglas loves cilantro. I like cilantro. Bill doesn't. Great Brown Hope doesn't. Food, not race, but the O in OTM pod logo. Look at this. We're always...
Stop.
We're creating new merch, even though we're going to get a new merch site. Let's talk about the main event, because this definitely should be on your must-watch list, your match of the year list, if you have them. I know Bill Moss does, and I believe Bill Moss added this to his list. I added it to mine, and it was a shocking result, at least for me, Ian, because we talked about this on the 24-hour main event stream, that it seemed like Will Ospreay was a slam dunk pick. That's the guy that they were kind of just shoving in your face. You know, he's the new guy on the block still. He still hasn't got his moment, his defining moment, but Hangman Page is a guy that was with AEW from day one. And I love the fact that he is the one that got the victory here in what was definitely one of the best matches of this year, Ian. So tell me your thoughts on this main event here at Double or Nothing.
I just want to start off by saying that match went for 40 minutes, and it felt like maybe 15, 20 minutes. But on paper, it went for 40 minutes, and it was a nonstop car crash, but a beautiful car crash, because these two are some of the best in the world. And I think they delivered. And there's talk about, like, well, none of the guys before it was like a week before, but they didn't know who was going to win that match. They knew they were going to get to the finals, but they didn't know who was going to win the entire thing and take on Moxley at All In. And some are saying it's a bad thing. But me, I love that, because they were trying to say, okay, I want you to win this match. No, I want you to win this match. And they kept going back and forth and finally settled on Hangman. And it makes complete sense.
It's a better decision.
Yeah, especially with the storyline now with Moxley. It literally, now when we first talked about Moxley winning this title, hiding it in a briefcase and everything, like, it felt like it was a takeover, which was kind of the message they were sending at the beginning, but it didn't feel like it. Now it does. And I think they capitalized on it, and they're starting to capitalize on it too, because now you have the trio of Swerve getting involved, and that dynamic with Hangman and Swerve. I never want them to be want them to be actually friends. Yeah, be enemies forever. And that promo last night from it was fucking amazing. Will Ospreay trying to be the negotiator between the two, because who doesn't like Will Ospreay? He's kind of like the Captain America. And then you have your side characters, or your other main Avengers. This whole thing is starting to feel like the Avengers movies to me. I, again, could be biased, but I'm built into this story. Like,
well, no, you're not crazy, because I'm not going to sit here and say it's on the level of Cody Rhodes finished the story, but it's a tier below it. It's a tier below it, because Hangman Page, and Great Brown Hope said it. I mentioned the fact that he's been there from day one, was in that first title defense. They have to keep Adam Hangman Page forever, because he is the face of All Elite Wrestling, in my opinion. He is, when you talk about pillars, Hangman Page, MJF, and then Moxley, and then after that, I think you could have a debate. But those, Swerve, probably, honestly, for the fourth. But then Ospreay could be in that conversation. They have so many guys. They have top guys everywhere. And that's another reason why I don't hate this result, because you know Will Ospreay is going to get another opportunity at the world title. This isn't it for him.
loses zero steam. Like,
Zero.
this game.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
Kenny. Good call, Bill. Kenny.
like the NBA. The guys that make it to the championship, the two teams that make it to the championship, one is going to win, one is going to lose, and they're going to have nothing for the end of the season. It's going to be a runner-up trophy.
Yeah.
Does not matter. Next year, they're still going to be
Still
maybe
top
not
contenders.
as good.
Yeah.
They're still in conversation for, okay, they could still win it this year.
It's a great comparison.
You got to think of it like sports. Like, and I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, especially wrestling just in general.
Some people don't want to. Some people don't like sports.
No, which is stupid losers. But
No, if you don't like sports, it's okay, even though that's basically how our wrestling fandom started. We kind of evolved from sports fans to professional wrestling fans, I guess. But Gray Brown Hope said exactly, without keeping their core, they will never have their own identity. WWE has/had their loyals. Paige and MJF are theirs.
And Darby.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
yeah,
You called Bill Moss a loser, by the way. He doesn't watch sports.
loser.
Wow, that's our listener.
Double down.
Unreal.
But no, like, back to the Hangman glazing that we're going on here, which is well deserved. But
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, they have been kind of telling the story, especially Hangman. His character story isn't just like a one segment thing just for the summer. This is his storyline. His story is his entire run in AEW.
It's his life.
They mention it. He is such a good character worker. Like, there are eras of that Hangman throughout his entire 6 years in the company. And looking back, it's all one major story. And it's all circulating towards this moment at All In. Which, a little spoiler, Hangman's winning that fucking title at All In. The talk about Moxley.
I don't know. Dude, they're going to prolong it for Darby.
At this point, no.
I'm warning you. I don't want it either. Trust me. You know I don't want it. I used to want it, but you can't keep a guy off TV for months and then put him back and try to have him defeat the champion who's been your champion for over a year.
Okay, so what's the difference with Darby coming back and winning the title?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't have Darby do that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Hangman can't. I'm saying he should, but I think AEW is waiting for Darby is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm... That's... Okay, I see what you're saying. I think AEW is smarter than that. I think, hopefully...
I hope so.
Hope.
Yeah, see, look, even the chat's saying it. It's going to be Darby. Eric's saying Darby at Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream's in his home state. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, the writing is on the wall with the schedule.
No one's happy about that, though. That's the thing.
Some people will be happy about it, but not a lot.
Not after they're going to tell the story with Hangman and try to boost him up and really nail in, like, this whole...
That
everybody
could kill
in
Hangman.
AEW.
If he loses to Moxley, I think that kills his momentum.
No, I would say no, because Hangman, we just talked about it. His character work, he evolves. Like, he can evolve his character after a big loss, after something like that, to still... It's just like, after the past 2 years of him going through this hell that he's talked about, if he loses that match at All In, he has to go back to that, because, like, that's the biggest disappointment ever in his AEW career. It's like, maybe I'm just being a very big mark and, like, really buying into it, which I think we should be. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm loving it.
I agree with you, dude.
The story direction.
No, trust me, I get it. Trust me, I need Hangman Page to win that title. I don't want to see the Death Riders and Jon Moxley holding that belt hostage anymore. And Great Brown Hope said that, you might as well give us your fantasy book in the comments, like these guys. He says Hangman wins, and then they can do a triple threat at Wrestle Dream.
Cool. Also, another thing, too, All In is in Texas. Hangman's a fucking cowboy.
Yeah,
it's gonna click with.
That's what pissed me off. So when Hangman won, and I remembered where All In was, I'm like, you fucking idiot! Of course they're gonna have the fucking cowboy main event. Yeah. What? Why didn't I put 2 and 2 together? Sometimes it's right in front of your face, but you're still gonna go the other direction. This could happen.
Unless it's Randy Orton on the poster of a St. Louis pay-per-view.
Backlash. Yeah, but I did call the match, didn't I? And I think people tried to say, "Oh, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen." Fucking happen.
Idiot.
This could happen too. Swerve could screw over Hangman again and keep that going.
Again, Dynamite last night, they talked about that, and they've really established that. He definitely could and become enemies, but I want this to be that whole Avengers thing of, like, put your differences aside, think of... And again, all 3 of the guys. By the way, I'm talking about this so much. Cut me off whenever you want me to, but I love the story.
Dude, I told you we're going to go long today. We haven't even got to NXT. So, guys, buckle in. We got 26 watching. Be a friend and tell a friend. We're still live.
Like, the promo last night. All 3 of them in the ring. They talked about all their differences. Swerve was pissed off. But they also talked about how much they love the company.
Yeah.
And what is Mox's thing? It's the whole John Cena thing. But it's like, destroy AEW from the inside kind of thing.
He wants to ruin AEW. Yeah.
Yeah, and... This is that perfect opportunity to be like, this is AEW versus Moxley at this point. I agree. Yes, I agree with you. That
help Hangman?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they all put their differences aside and see, like, okay, if we really want a shot at Moxley, which is Will Ospreay's whole entire thing, is like, let's all put our fucking differences aside.
You're setting up WrestleMania 40, it sounds like, where they're just going to do a bunch of run-ins and help Hangman.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm seeing all
Could
of
happen.
go. I think it's an hour-long match, and everybody gets involved at some point.
So do you think the Bucks then would be, and it's funny because Bill literally just commented that, why would the Young Bucks side with Moxley? I still don't understand that, but they're going to need to be on his side here for this match then if you're trying to book an invasion angle, right? Like you would have him, you would have, what's the fucking kid that spat on Willow?
Gabe Kidd.
Gabe Kidd, yeah.
You can think about it like this. Maybe all those people in the Anarchy in the arena are not involved, and you want all of your top guys on the other side. I think the Young Bucks are getting some good reactions now, the funny reactions like they used to. Maybe that face turn happens and they kind of realize they are ruining our company. Let's side with the good guys here, because I think this is going to involve Kenny's not going to be involved. He'll have his own match with Okada. Yeah. I think that's writing on the wall. Sure. So let's talk. Let's just break it down. We got Swerve, Hangman, and we have Ospreay.
Yeah.
So there's 3 right there. So if I'm involving the Young Bucks, that's 5 right there. And the other,
maybe the Ops get involved. Willow,
at least just Samoa Joe. Willow, she'll be involved in it
for sure. Willow.
They could have the entire fucking roster come out and just beat the shit out of the Death Riders. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I think the counter is Willow, isn't it, Eric?
Willow's,
what girl do you think? Eventually, Willow and Marina will have a blow-off by themselves, and Willow will go over, I'm sure. Because Willow did just re-sign. She's one of those girls that you got to keep around for a long haul because they got something with her for sure. Shayna Baszler would be interesting, though. That would be a nice spot for Shayna. I know we don't like, sending AEW people to WWE right away or vice versa all the time, but that one actually makes sense.
There's names right now out there that would be
makes sense.
Yeah, they work in AEW.
I could see Shayna, yeah. I could see Shayna in AEW. A lot of people said Dakota Kai.
No, I don't think it works.
It turns into a Britt Baker situation where we're going to be looking for her on a milk carton after a couple of years, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's just the diehard fans, such as yourself, like you would want to see her become like main talent in AEW if she were to transfer.
That's the problem, Ian.
And it's taking a giant gamble with, it's still a brand new audience, no matter what. Like, they can know the name. It's still a brand new audience. You have to earn your rights. Like Ricochet, when he first started, no one gave a shit. And that was a big acquisition for AEW.
He's one of my 3 favorite people in AEW
I love Ricochet right now. He's so fun. Also, shout out to Briscoe in the Ricochet match, because that kicked ass as well.
Yeah,
they did good. No expectations at all, but Mark Briscoe became a dog after that match.
I agree with Bill, too, with Dakota, going back to the European indie scene, maybe with Nixon Noel, and reunite with Tegan Knox, if you didn't know her first name there. But yeah, she's also a little older. So is Shayna Baszler, though. But then again, you could just use Shayna for this program, essentially sign her for a year, have her work the program, and then she can go do indies. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Shayna and GCW, yeah, that would be a good fit as well. Bill said he put Ricochet and Mark Briscoe also on his match of the year list. All right. His list is a little longer than mine, so that's what I kind of tweaked mine. We all have our different ways of doing it. I tweak mine as we go. I think Bill just keeps all the matches up, which is probably better because he can at least see 50-something good matches. Yeah. Me, I start comparing after a while, and then I delete. So the list that you see sometimes gets changed.
Also, we have an award show at the end of the year, so that does help you.
I have to narrow it down. I have to narrow it down, because if I'm looking at 50 matches at the end of the year, I'm not going to sit here and put up 50 matches and watch them again. If I can get like 10,
Also, the Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe match, like that's not for everybody. Not everyone's going to enjoy that kind of match because there was a lot of blood, but it was badass.
Blood for the sake of blood, essentially.
I guess in that point, in this match.
It's a stretcher
worked
match.
for Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, that's what it was.
First ever stretcher match.
So overall, letter grade for AEW Double or Nothing. What would you give it?
That's as close to an A+ as you get for me. It was a 97 for me, 98. Ooh. I loved it. And the talk after it, after all of the closing, they had all the closing matches for all these feuds, and I want to keep watching AEW. I'm hooked again. It's a 98.
So I'm like that fish in the sea that just keeps nibbling at your hook, but you haven't reeled me in yet. Because my issue with AEW is they always produce a good pay-per-view, as we say, but the follow-up episodes on Dynamites are never good. I didn't like last night's Dynamite. I didn't think it was that great of a show. I thought they missed on a few things. I'm not going to get into it. But that's the problem is, give me reason to care every single week. And I know that is hard to do. Not even WWE's doing that. They mail it in from time to time. They have down weeks, but you're still a relatively new company. And you have momentum right now. A lot of the internet would say you don't. There is momentum. Trust me, I'm starting to get that feeling restored here, like in 2021, 2022. But please start following up your shows with more important shit. I know they had important moments on the show, but there were a lot of inconsequential matches that were happening. There's just no stakes whatsoever involved. And it just felt like throwaways. That's my only critique. That doesn't take anything away from Double or Nothing, because Double or Nothing was a very Very good show. It's an A- for me because all the other matches we didn't talk about were kind of just there, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Like, FTR match went a little too long.
Yeah.
Like, you could have got to that point 10 minutes earlier. I think we even talked about that off air, and you agreed.
Yeah, that was the one match I was like, I mean, even Hurt Syndicate versus they're called Sons of Texas.
Sons
I
of
enjoyed
Texas.
that match. I
did.
really liked that match. Even though I gave zero shits about the match going into it, it delivered in my eyes.
Here's another hot
give a
take.
shit about 'em.
I like the Hurt Syndicate. I love what they do in their segments. I think their matches have not been good.
Well,
Rewatch all their matches. Sure, the adversaries haven't been strong tag teams.
That was going to be my argument.
Which is fair. But yet, I have not been impressed with the Hurt Syndicate match. That's
They
just me.
need to give them. Tony needs to give them like real challengers. Like I think that's their biggest hiccup is like they're not able
like challengers in Collision, like grizzled young veterans or Paragon.
Yeah,
in the middle of the show too.
Yeah, it's like they're not able to really showcase themselves if they're just beating on an underdog, and even then it's like they're not even beating on the underdogs. They still have to make that 15-minute match happen. So it's like it takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah, but they hurt people.
They do hurt people.
It's a good song, and it was a good show. A- for me. Trust me, no, not really any complaints other than the complaints that you heard. So I guess there were a few complaints. Grizzled Young Veterans are so underrated. See, that's a tag team I never got into, and I think Bill, me and him have talked about that. Dry as, I don't know what's dry, the Sahara Desert. They have no personality, in my opinion.
Yeah, I need personality behind them. They're very good in the ring. Don't get me wrong.
Very
but
good.
Also,
very believable, as the Great Brown Hope is saying.
Yeah, they're kind of in that like FTR situation for me. I'm not a huge FTR fan, especially even when they were like coming into AEW. It was like, this is cool,
FTR.
sweet.
Yeah.
Just
I would probably put FTR in my top 5. I know I didn't put them in my top 5 when we talked about it on the stream, but I probably should have. I think FTR would probably be number 5. But let's briefly touch on 2 things that happened. Yeah, I already knew that. I wasn't even bothering looking. 2 matches from NXT Battleground I want to talk about. The first one, which was my second favorite match of the weekend, Sol Ruka versus Kalani Jordan. And once again, guys, if you're a fan of NXT, please check out my other podcast. We're live after NXT every week at NXT Night Shift on X. But, man, I have spoken my praises so much about Sol Ruka on that show. I can't even sit here and talk about her again because I'm at a loss for words, man. She is just special. And her and Kalani Jordan have this unspeakable chemistry to where, Ian, this is a feud that you might see on the main roster for years to come.
Yeah, she's got the personality, and she's obviously got the fucking talent. I mean, that comparison of her being kind of that next Charlotte Flair in the making, I see it. Sol Ruka is absolutely fantastic. Again, I've seen like the people criticizing her finisher,
and her doing the gymnastics moves, even though she was a gymnast.
Yeah, There was one exchange I was like, okay, that's even a little bit too much for me. I love flippy shit, but there was a couple times I was like, okay, all right, let's relax a little bit. But I think the match was awesome. I wasn't as locked into the NXT thing because I was watching this in the background as I was doing housework.
The crowd was into it, by the way. I know you didn't have the volume on. I did. The NXT crowd was getting into this match especially.
Good. Yeah.
Like Kalani Jordan, I said it last year when she won our NXT Superstar of the Year because of Kine. that she needed something. I think she's starting to find something in NXT. And I know you're not paying attention to it, but the look was there. She was rocking the dreads, which was cool. It's different. She just has this different confidence to her, I think. And it's showing. Like, it's cool to see that these women that we've seen on NXT now for a couple of years finally reach their final form, it seems.
The only criticism I have for this match is actually, it's kind of counterintuitive to what you just said, but again, was not as locked into the match. But my feeling when I was watching it was like, because you said Kalani was the heel going into this match.
Yes.
I didn't get that feeling really. It could just be Kalani Jordan's just appearance in general and me knowing her from the past, but like, it didn't feel like she was working as a heel. No. It kind of felt like an AEW heel of like, I'm really it's like a Ricochet heel. That makes any sense.
There really is not any deep layers to this heel character. It's just, hey, I'm that now. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So it's getting there, though. It's growing. It's evolving. They're starting to figure it out. I just wanted to make sure that we briefly touched on that match because I think there's big things in the future of these two women. But we have to talk about the main event. It was Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams, the first ever time the TNA World title was defended on a WWE PLE. And we got ourselves a brand new TNA champion. History was made this past Sunday, which is crazy because I don't see much chatter online. And maybe that's just because there was so much wrestling that happened this weekend. But a WWE superstar is now the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Ian, give me your thoughts.
Love it, because they could have easily just said, okay, we've been having a lot of TNA guys coming over. They're losing a lot. Let's give them a win. Let them defend their own title on our program. Be an easy cop-out, right? Fuck it. No, let's shake it up and actually let this partnership flourish even more. Because, again, this partnership has been awesome for both sides. And Santana being involved now, even cooler.
So cool.
Even cooler. Like, Santana, very good dude, and excellent fucking wrestler, and he's really starting to turn heads now, which is really cool. Everything about this partnership is awesome, and you're going to have Trick Williams in TNA, like, on TNA programming.
This is going to create a buzz, and that's exactly, like, having the Mike Santana come in, which the NXT crowd fully embraced Mike Santana on Tuesday. That was awesome to see. They definitely knew about him and what he has accomplished in pro wrestling, but him now being, like, the savior of TNA is just creating new stars for TNA, and that's why this partnership works. You put the title on a guy from the WWE, everybody in that TNA crowd is going to want to see Trick lose. So anybody that you put from that TNA roster to face off against Trick, they're going to be behind full force. And I don't agree necessarily with what the Great Brown Hope's saying. He said this just means TNA was able to extend Joe's contract. I think it means the opposite. I think this means that this feud's just going to carry over into the WWE one day. That's what I think this is. Joe Hendry's contract's supposed to expire by the end of the summer. And like Bill said, Santana was so over on NXT. I don't know what he's alluding to here, so don't spoil anything for us, because I don't think we saw any spoilers in regards to TNA this week. So please don't say anything else other than that. But I hope Santana doesn't defeat Trick tonight and just ruin everything that we're talking about right now. Because I think that match is happening tonight, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's being taped tonight. Or no,
don't spoil it.
But yeah, I want to see Trick Williams hold that title for a while. I mean, that's even for TNA's sake.
He meant on Battleground. Okay, we're good. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I like this shakeup, and I think they'd keep it going for a little while. It doesn't have to be a cop-out, one-off, one-on thing. You can make this become like a bigger thing in cross-promotion, NXT and TNA, so...
You think Mike Santana is the guy to take the title off Trick, or you think they're going to stretch this out and build up other challengers?
If they do, it's going to have to be on TNA programming, because he's not big on NXT programming. Yes, he had the welcome. He did, but I don't think he's that big yet to win that title back on NXT programming. I think if that's going to happen, let it be on TNA, and then they'll just explain it on NXT when Trick loses the title.
Yeah, this is just a win-win for both companies. And honestly, and this might be crazy, I think it's more of a win for TNA.
Yeah,
saying that they have a WWE superstar as their champion. Because I wouldn't say everybody knows who Trick Williams is, but if you were to put Trick Williams up against a Mike Santana to a random wrestling fan, Trick Williams they're going to recognize him more.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it gets, people. Sometimes it's that easy. And I think this is just going to be great things for TNA going forward. And I agree, it should be Santana, but prolong it. Like you have to at least squeeze some juice out of this, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know when Bound for Glory is. I don't know when that is.
I'll look it up.
Otherwise, I would agree with you or disagree, Bill. So you're gonna have to tell me when that is. I don't know the TNA schedule. We don't watch. And he thinks it'll happen. The Great Brown Hope also says he thinks that it will happen at a TNA PLA. When is that?
TNA Bound for Glory, October 12th.
No, that's probably time. No. I think that's the right timeline. Because let's be real.
2 months.
What do you think? Trick has a spot in the main roster right now?
No, I was going to agree with this. Yes, keep going.
And he doesn't have anything to do in NXT.
No.
Let him hang out in TNA for the summer. Why not?
It also makes him a better wrestler, which him on the main roster he's still going to need, because I think as much as he is over character-wise. Yeah, he needs more time still. He's still green, I think, in my eyes when I see him in the ring. Let him build up his talent a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, Battleground was, not as good as the other shows this weekend. I would probably give it a B. But once again, NXT doing some great things, and they made some noise this Tuesday. We touched on it a lot on NXT Night Shift this week, so we definitely need to touch on it here because this was one of those moments where you had to be live and experience it because genuine shock on people's faces, similar to when like the streak ended in that crowd, because no one in their mother thought that Stephanie Valkyrie was going to lose the women's title to JC Jane in the main event of a regular NXT. But goddamn it, Ian, they pulled the trigger. Fallon Henley pulled a swerve. That's what the story was this whole time. Just to give you a little backstory if you didn't know, not toxic attraction, Fatal Influence was basically teasing that they were going to split. Yes, essentially the same thing. And they swerved us, and they got involved in this match. So it wasn't a clean win for JC Jane, for the record. But she is the new women's champion. How does that make you feel? I know you're not a diehard NXT fan, but you know what Stephanie Valkyrie was doing down there.
I don't have any feelings towards it personally because, again, I don't know anything about, genuinely nothing about JC Jane. I think I've seen her face a couple times, but my favorite thing is there are people livid at this decision on the internet. Fucking good. Good. Yeah. I get it. Jordan Grace lost, and she didn't win the title, so now JC Jane wins the title. Who cares?
Jordan's going to SmackDown. She's going to be fine.
She literally
Juggernaut.
is called the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. Trust me. I like it because, again, it's building that other generation of talent. I think JC Jane's younger. I could be completely wrong there.
I don't think she is.
No? Okay.
JC's been around the block. Dude, she's a 2.0 herself.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, she's been there with Tony D. I think they're one of the last standing people.
And Trick.
Oh, and Trick, yeah. But the match itself was good. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Stephanie Valkyrie match, and Stephanie's going to go to the main roster and be just fine. Yeah. And like I said, it wasn't a clean win for JC, so she's not harmed people. It's not that big of a deal. JC Jane is apparently 28 years old for the record, so there's that. So definitely not old. Plenty of time going on there. A lot of comments, though, that I want to bring up because there's a lot to discuss here. So let me scroll on through. Both surprising title changes. Yes, I didn't bring up the fact that Ethan Page defeated Ricky Saints. Yes, Ricky Saints, Bill Moss. I know you put Starks in the comments right there. It was a messy, and I don't know if you got to see NXT this week, but essentially they had security guards out there, and for the entire first 10, 15 minutes of the match, the security guards kept trying to hold the guys back, and it was just awkward, reaching for each other. What are we doing here? Just make it a match, But Ethan Page became the new North American champion, and I saw this comment from the Great Brown Hope thinking that Ricky's going to go to Raw. You know where Ricky's going, don't you? Who? He's going after Obafemi. Who else is going to face Obafemi?
Yeah, I've seen Ricky. I had the volume on during. I think Ricky came out for a promo. Mm-hmm. The crowd was not into Ricky. Just being realistic, again, NXT could be.
Oh, they're into him. They are
okay.
They are.
But
into him, yeah.
The pay-per-view crowd was not loving Ricky, so my immediate thought was, that's fair. That's fair. Which, again, that builds into it. I don't think he's main roster ready. Sure, he'll get that pop because he's, main roster fans.
He needs that WWE seasoning.
Yeah, you still needs that. I think there's a lot of work to do for Ricky.
Yeah, and I can't think of anybody else on the NXT roster to defeat Obafemi, and a lot of people might argue, Ricky is so much smaller than Obafemi. They've done this underdog story before. Rey Mysterio has beaten the Big Show, I'm sure, multiple times. That stuff can happen. It's okay. And Ricky can make you believe that he is able to beat a guy like Obafemi, too, by just speaking. Chase. Yeah, he's great on the chase. Very good chase. And to go to this comment, Mariah's too big for NXT if Mariah May were to go to WWE, in my opinion.
I don't think Mariah's leaving AEW.
I think she
I don't understand that.
You're still denying it? Dude. I'm 95% sure she's going to WWE.
No. No.
I was right about the last couple. Will you right about this one, too?
I'll make a deal. If Mariah May is on WWE within the next year, I'll give you a year. If she is over in with a WWE contract, I will move my 24-hour stream from 600 to 500 subscribers.
Okay. Deal.
Deal.
Fair enough. I thought she was in her 30s, too, to be fair, Bill. And going up to that comment, JC Jane has been a good soldier in NXT. She deserves a win. It's hard to not root for people like that too, you know? The people that just put in the time, never sniffed really the main event scene, they get their moment. Will she ever get that moment again?
Probably not.
No. And I also agree with Eric. I thought Ethan Page was getting a call up, but I'm assuming that their thought process, Ian, is that they still need a guy with experience down there to help the other young talent.
Yeah, and I think Ethan's he could be the face of NXT in a snap. Like, his first title reign was kind of like the story was literally like, it was
a fluke.
How the fuck did he win the title?
Yeah.
But if he won the title, like, genuinely, he could run NXT for a while.
Yeah, he could. He's doing great things in NXT.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that's all we got. We went a little longer this week. I was going to run down the cards for next week, but tune in next week. We will preview Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. And once again, guys, I know I keep teasing it. Tucky this, Tucky that. I think... And I'm never going to say he is, because
no more.
The plans keep changing, guys. I don't know what's going on in this guy's life. Apparently a lot. Tuck may be back next week, but I tell you what, he was alive. He was alive in the group chat for the very first time. So we do know he's breathing, right?
Yeah, baseball, I promise you, being around him during like baseball season coming to a close, the dude is locked into baseball. So I love the guy. He will be here. Who gets the Raw first, Tucky or Veer? Tucky is coming. We need to put a graphic for that.
Oh my God, that is genius!
That was a missed opportunity.
No, I'm doing it. I'm telling Tuck he's got to sit out the rest of the year. We're just going to run a Tucky is coming video package. Oh my God, Great Brown Hope. Great Brown Hope, if you could put together that YouTube or that video even for a gag, that would be, that could be a shirt too.
All you need to do is throw Tucky's face on Veer during that actual promo video, and that's it. That's all you're going to do, and it's perfect.
I need to see that, guys. Somebody, we have many people that watch this show. Somebody make that happen. Make it a reality, please. 16 weeks worth of Tucky coming. It feels like it has been 16 weeks, honestly. When's the last time we've had Tuck on this podcast?
It's pretty close to that. I mean, it's 8 weeks at least. It was for a pay-per-view, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then during OTM, the third panel is the graphic of Tucky is coming the entire show.
All right. We are an hour in.
On that note, we're at the part of the show where we give out the most valuable mark. Ian, if they are unfamiliar with the MVM title, what does that represent?
Well, for the people listening in the back and not actually speaking in our comment section, that comment section is pretty important because you could win a title, not an actual title. You could just call yourself the MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast for the week, and then you have to defend your title the next week. It's a workhorse championship. You got to get used to it. But we've had some workhorses. I don't know who the current champion is because it's been a little while since.
It's Eric Douglas. Remember, he won it.
That is because he retained it as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, so for somebody that is not involved in the comment section, because I know all the people in the comment section right now know what it takes to be an MVM. For those that don't know, just be a commenter.
Like Devin. What's up, Devin? You're a little late to the party, Devin, but it's good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well.
Like Devin here, spark up some conversation. It's not about quantity. It's mainly about quality. Spark up the conversation. Have fun in the group, or in the basically group chat now. But
this essentially is the group chat. The comment section has just become the chat. We taken it all. The Great Brown Hope's right. Bump some Solo Sokoa because we have an new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. It is Hot Sauce Bill Moss. And we disagreed with him multiple times, and he still won the MVM. See how great we are? We are such good people, aren't we?
Spark the conversation. That's all you need. Don't do outlandish Kine takes and try to win the MVM by just having us bitch and moan at you, Kine. I know you're probably on an airplane now, but...
Yeah, Kine, I hope your flight is going well.
But,
I do hope so.
Yeah, no, just spark some conversation. We like
Bill, by the way, you did just win a free t-shirt as well, but I believe you have an honorary Mark shirt as it is. So go to our website, take a look at the designs, and then I can work something out for you, and I'll ship it to you.
Or we could, we could test your good guy thing and DM us and say I want him to have an honorary Mark shirt. If you want to be a good guy, and if you don't want to be a good guy, you could be a piece of shit too.
True. Or Bill, I'll let you defer your winnings to when we create a new merch site, and you can have first dibs on new merch. So let us know. Put it in the comment section. Slide in our DMs. But this is what it's all about here. Ian, this is why we say buy the marks for the marks. We couldn't do it without the chat.
No, this show would have probably been just over an hour, not an hour and 24 minutes.
He also doesn't think he has the honorary mark t-shirt, so it might be perfect for him. So we might have to get that going. So guys, we are going to be hanging out with you, same place, same time, hopefully, next week, time TBD. So make sure you're following us on our socials at Pod on the Mark and show some love over at the Main Event Wrestling Network. Ian, if the people didn't hear us at the beginning, what should they be checking out on that Main Event Wrestling Network channel?
Well, a lot of the people are actually in this chat right now. We have Tino's Time, who is live, I'm pretty sure, every single day. That guy.
What shirt is he talking about? Do I owe him a shirt too?
I think you brought it up during the stream because you're like, oh, you were a trooper.
Oh, okay. All right, well, you got to DM
that's what it
me.
was.
I forget what I say sometimes. But yeah, tell them a little bit about what we did this past weekend.
Well, we have the 24-hour stream, and if you would like to check that out, and yes, you heard me correctly, we went for 24 hours straight. We were live the entire time, no pre-recording, even though we were literally, you could find the links at mainevent_net. But even if you think we were literally like pre-recording everything and just kind of laying it, no, everybody was live. We had maniacs up at 4 a.m. talking wrestling. The entire
like this guy right here.
Yeah.
And Paperclip Mike, by the way, waking up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, dog. Like, genuinely, I felt the love from everybody that joined the streams, and we had some unexpected people joining. And if you didn't watch the entire thing or don't want to go back and watch 24 hours straight worth of content, you could just check everybody out at mainevent_net, where everybody is shared, all the personalities. We have a lot of them. Check out their content.
Yeah, and I actually took the time to timestamp everything on those YouTube videos, so it's a two-parter. Go to our channel. I break it down by whoever is hosting. So if you're, like I said, a specific fan of someone on the network and you just want to hear their thoughts, like Tino, maybe you want to watch Evolution with Tino, I got that timestamp for you. So just go ahead, check out the Main Event Wrestling Network. Make sure you're following us at Pod on the Mark, and give us a subscribe because we are on the road to 500 subscribers. We're going to be doing some big things here, y'all, and we are going to continue to produce content every single week. So come hang out with us. The carnival doesn't stop, my friend. Make sure you check out the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. Get some merch. Bill Moss will be getting free merch. Unfortunately, for the rest of you, you got to buy it and support us that way. But we will be getting a new merch site here soon, so stay tuned for more details. Ian, any final remarks before we sign off?
As a great Tucky would say, and I'm hoping he's saying next week, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. If you don't like one program right now or what they're putting out, there are alternates out there. Go watch those and you'll have a good time. Seriously, there's a lot of wrestling to watch. I am tired of wrestling, but in a good way. I'm just tired because I enjoy wrestling.
I am tired of wrestling. I'm going to quit this podcast.
I'm fucking leaving.
We are fucking leaving. So, guys, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.